5 and Year 6, it's Miss Dyer here with the English part of this week's learning journey. And you'll remember that this is a 2-week-long learning journey that we started on Monday the 22nd of February. Today is the 23rd, so this is video number 2 in our sequence, and this is our AM video. There will also be a second PM video for you to do this afternoon or tomorrow as you wish. Okay, so we're going to start with a recap, just like we always do. So our question for this 2-week learning journey is, how can I spread hope in my community? And you'll remember that we spent some time unpicking this question on Monday or Tuesday, really thinking about what it is to spread hope and thinking of our community and different people that we could spread hope to at this challenging time. And at the end of that video, we really focused on what was going to be our outcome, and you had a chance to write your outcome in your own words. Okay, so lots of you wrote something along the lines of, I'm writing a letter, including a piece of artwork, to someone in my community to bring them hope and lift their spirits in these challenging times. And some of you extended your thinking by considering how you're going to include your gateway. For my letter to have an impact, I will have to express myself confidently and clearly to make a positive first impression. Okay, so hopefully then Year 5 and 6 you're feeling confident that you understand our outcome is going to be a written letter and a piece of artwork that is going to be sent to somebody in your community to bring them some hope and lift their spirits. We're just going to remind ourselves now of this half-term's gateway. So our gateway this half-term is expression. We haven't forgotten about our previous gateway of explorers. So we're still going to be determined and resilient and do our very best. But we are also going to be thinking about this half-term how to express ourselves to an unknown audience confidently and articulately, how we can make a positive impression, and how we can express our values with honesty, including the ability to disagree respectfully. Okay, so hopefully that was a useful recap to get us started. Now, the first thing we're going to do today is turn to the page where we have already written our outcome. So if you could do that now, please, Years 5 and 6. So grab your learning journal, find that page, and open it up in front of you, please. Okay, so hopefully there is some space in your thinking column on this page. Don't worry if there isn't, because you could turn to the next page and create a new thinking column. That's not a problem, but do try and fit it on the page where you've written your outcome if possible. So now we're really clear about our outcome, we're going to just take a moment to think about how confident we feel about answering this question and achieving this outcome. So if you were going to rate yourself out of 10, 1 being I really don't feel very confident at all, 10 feet at being, yep, I feel super confident, I can do this with my eyes closed, Miss Dyer, I know exactly what I'm going to write, what a good letter looks like, then you might mark yourself 10 out of 10. Okay, so what you'll need to do then, Year 5 and 6, is pause the video in a moment and copy this question into your thinking column and then rate yourself out of 10. How confident do you feel about answering this question and achieving your outcome? Okay, so if you pause the video now and then come back when you're ready, please. Welcome back, Year 5 and 6. Hopefully you've written the question in and you've given yourself a mark. Now I'm going to give myself a 4 out of 10 at this point because there are a few things that I'm not sure about. Right, the next thing I'm going to do then is explain why I've given myself 4 out of 10. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways of doing this, Year 6. So the first way is this. I'm not very confident because I'm not sure how I can spread hope in a letter. Okay, so in this first sentence, I'm saying why I don't feel very confident, and I'm explaining why. I've used the conjunction because to give a deeper explanation to my sentence. I'm not feeling very confident because I'm not sure how to spread hope in a letter. Now I know that everybody in year 5 and 6 can write a sentence that says how they're feeling and why. Okay, so I would pause the video now if I was you, year 5 and 6, and have a go at writing your first sentence. Remember to explain why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Okay, off you go then. Okay, welcome back year 5 and 6. Hopefully you've got your sentence ready and you've explained why you're feeling how you're feeling about achieving your outcome. Now most people in year 5 and 6 will be able to add on a little bit extra to their sentence now. So I don't want to be stuck at a 4 out of 10. I know that I'm going to need to get to a 5 out of 10 or even a 6 out of 10. How am I going to do that then? What is it I need to learn or I need to research or find out more about to get to my next step, my next target? And I'm going to aim for a 5 out of 10 next. What am I going to do? Well, that's what I'm going to think about in my next sentence. So, I need to think about who I am writing to and what will bring them hope. That's the bit I'm stuck on. Who am I going to write to and what will I write about that's really going to bring them hope? Now I'm going to suggest a way that I could think about that and solve that problem. Okay. I could research ways of spreading hope by listening to speeches, music, or finding out about inspiring people in my community. Okay, so my first sentence says how I'm feeling and why. My second sentence explains what it is that I need to get better at or what it is I need to do or find out in order to achieve my next step. Now I know almost everybody in year 5 and 6 is capable of writing that second sentence, so please pause the video now, year 5 and 6, and have a really good go at thinking about what your next steps are, what you need to do next. Okay, come back when you're ready, please. Okay, welcome back year 5 and 6. So some people will be able to take their thinking a step further now and think about our gateway of expression. Remember, that's about making a positive first impression, about presenting clearly to an unknown audience. So I know that my letter needs to make a good first impression to be effective. So to bring hope to somebody, they've got to be impressed by my letter. But I'm not sure how to present a letter. I could research this as well. It would also be useful to think about how long I've got to achieve the outcome and how best to use my time. Okay, so I know that some people in year 5 and 6 will be able to think about the gateway now and what it is they're going to need to research or find out more about in order to make a good first impression or in order to be able to be clear to their reader. Okay, pause the video now then, year 5 and 6, and come back when you're ready. Well done everybody, so you've completed the first part of today's learning journey. Now, some of you may have written about wanting to know how long you've got to achieve your outcome. So what I've done here for you is we're going to have a little look at a calendar in a moment. But before we get started, we need to get our page ready. So at the top of a brand new clean page, please could you write our inquiry question and today's date and underline that with your red pen or a coloured pen and a ruler at home. Now, some of you are being incredibly cheeky monkeys because even though I've reminded you lots and lots that a question ends with a question mark, some of you are still forgetting. So please don't let me see anybody forgetting the question mark today. Okay, off you go, everybody. Okay, so hopefully you've got your title and your date ready. Now, we're going to have a quick look at a calendar. Now, if you weren't somebody that was thinking about the time or you weren't so worried about the time, you might want to fast forward and come back to this bit a bit later. But it is really useful to know how long you've got and when we're going to be doing things. So I'm going to talk you through that briefly. And some of you will need to make a record of this in your learning journey. So if you were somebody that mentioned the time in your thinking column on this page, then you will need to make a record of it now in your learning journey. So today is the day that I'm doing this video is the 24th of February. Okay, it might be slightly different to you, but to me the date is the 24th of February. Now, today we're going to be looking at examples of what is a good letter, and we're going to be creating our success criteria. And then on Friday, we're going to be thinking about who we're writing to and why. We're going to start planning our letter. On Monday, and that will be the 1st of March then, we're going to write our first paragraph. We're going to edit that paragraph. On Tuesday, the 2nd of March, we're going to write our second paragraph, and we're going to draft and edit that paragraph together. And on the 3rd, we're going to write our closing paragraph. On the 4th, we'll need to write that up neatly so that it's ready to be posted. And on Friday, we're going to spend some time answering our question and reflecting on our learning for these 2 weeks. So, like I say, if you have mentioned time in your thinking column, then please now in your learning journey make a note. It's up to you how you present it. You might want to draw on some calendars, but please make a note of how you are going to achieve your learning journey by Friday the 5th of March. That's our deadline. X marks the spot, so they say. Okay, for everybody else then, we're going to carry on. And one of the things that I know I need to find out more about is how to write a letter. Okay, that was something I wasn't very confident about in my thinking column. So the next thing we're going to do is write a subheading in our book that is a success criteria for writing a letter of hope with a colon and a red line, please. So pause the video now then, year 5 and 6, and get that subheading in your book, please. Okay, so underneath your subheading, we're going to create a success criteria for writing a good letter. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this, year 5 and 6, and I'm just going to explain them before we get started so that you can choose the one that's going to work for you. So you might decide to print out the example of the letter and stick it in your book so that you've got space to write around the letter. Okay. If you haven't got a printer at home, you might decide that you're going to use some bullet points to record your success criteria. You might decide that you're going to use some numbered bullet points. You might decide that you're going to draw a little picture of a letter as your bullet point and write your information next to your little drawing. Okay, it's up to you how you're going to do it. Now, normally at this point, I would read the letter out to you and we'd spend some time thinking about what it says and what the messages are in there. However, that makes the video very, very long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a separate video of where I've read that letter to you. Okay, and I will put the letter on your Class Dojo page so that you can read it on on your own at home or with a grown-up at home. Okay, so that means that we can then just focus on our success criteria in this video. Okay, so our focus for the success criteria is going to be the layout of the letter. We're going to worry about the writing features as we write the letter. Okay, and I'm going to teach some new writing features as we go through. So our focus is the layout. Oh, excuse me, year 5 and 6. Right, so if I have a look at this letter, it's tricky to get it all on one page, so I'm just going to have to do my best. The first thing I notice is that at the top on the right hand side, okay, is the address of the person who's sending the letter. Now I'm going to do my list using numbered bullet points. So I'm going to put a number 1 there, and then I'm going to write a number 1 in my letter. Okay, so number 1 on my success criteria is my address, because I'm the person sending the letter, at the top right hand corner of the page. And when you look closely at this letter, year 5 and 6, you'll notice that this has a certain layout. So it has a comma at the end and a full stop after the postcode. So I'll need to remember to do that when I write my letter. Now, the second thing that I notice about this letter is the long date. So that's the second thing that I'm going to add to my success criteria. So write the date underneath the address. I'm going to say on a new line on the right. Okay, so I'm adding some detail in there so I don't forget. Now, if I were you, year 5 and 6, I'd pause the video at this point and create the first 2 success criteria in your book. Okay, remember you can just write them in if you want to, or you can print out the letter as well, do arrows, write around it, it's up to you. Right, off you go everybody. Okay, welcome back then. So we're on to success criteria number 3. So what do you think is the next success criteria, the next thing we need to remember to include? You're right, we need to think about who we are writing to. So number 3 is who we are addressing our letter to. So I'm going to go back to my success criteria list here. I'm going to put number 3. Now, if we're writing to somebody that we don't know, we use Dear Sir or Dear Madam. And you'll notice that Sir and Madam have a capital letter. So this is if you don't know the person that you're writing to. If you do know the person that you're writing to, you might use Mr, Miss, Ms or Mrs, their title, followed by their surname, if you know them. You could also, if you're going to write to a family member, you might write Dear Gramps, or you might write to Auntie Lucy. Okay, that's perfectly okay if you're writing to somebody that you're very close to. Okay, so pause the video now then, year 5 and 6, and add success criteria number 3 to your list. Okay, welcome back everybody. So our 4th success criteria, what do you think's coming up next? Okay, so the first thing, we're sort of into our letter writing now, and the first thing that I notice is that the first paragraph here is an introduction. Okay, I've said the person has introduced their name, how they know this person, where they're from. They've also shared a lovely memory that they've got of that person. They've said, that they've been thinking of that person. And they've said why they are writing. I'm writing in the hope that I can make you smile. Okay, so that is our introductory paragraph. that says who you are, where you're writing from. It shares a memory or a special thing about that person. It says that you've been thinking of them, and it explains why you are writing. So let's add that then to our success criteria. Number 4. So it's paragraph 1, an introduction. So it includes who's writing, where they're from, and why they are writing. And some people have also included a memory or something that sort of makes them smile, that connects to that person they're writing to. So year 5 and 6, pause the video now and add number 4 to your success criteria. Well, welcome back everybody. So we're now on to the main body of our letter. Now this person's written 2 paragraphs, but you may only end up writing 1, and that's okay. Now, what is the purpose, or why were these 2 paragraphs written? What are they trying to do for the reader? That's right, these are our hope paragraphs. Okay, so it's the paragraphs that are really going to bring hope to your reader. It's sort of the main body of the letter. So step number 5 is the main body, or we'll call them the main paragraphs, and they are focused on hope. Okay, and we'll look a little bit closer at how they're spreading hope as we go through the week. Okay, so pause the video now then, year 5 and 6, and add number 5 to your success criteria, please. Okay, so let's go down to the bottom of our letter then. What do you think is number 6 on our success criteria? Well done, it's this closing paragraph. So number 6 is our closing paragraph. And a closing paragraph will set your expectation for writing back. So this person sort of says, perhaps we can write to each other and share some jokes and stories. Okay, and it ends with sort of a closing remark, and this person has used a joke. So on our success criteria, number 6 is your closing paragraph. I'll move this up in a moment so you can read it, don't panic. And it has your expectations for replying and a closing remark. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make those a bit smaller for you, so hopefully you can read number 6 a little bit easier. There we are. Okay, so recording number 6 now in your success criteria, please. Okay, we're almost there, year 5 and 6. We've got 2 to go. Can anybody spot what number 7 might be? That's right, we need to sort of say a goodbye, and it's a formal goodbye. And I'm using yours sincerely. And that's because I know this person. So number 7 is we need to end our letter. And if you know the person, it's yours sincerely. If you don't know the person, then you'll need to use yours faithfully. Okay, so again, year 5 and 6, if you'd like to pause the video and add number 7 to your success criteria, please. Okay, number 8 then, everybody, the final one. You've probably spotted it already. You need to finish with your name, and it's your full name. So number 8, nice simple one, won't take us long to add this to our list. Number 8, your full name. Okay, so add that one to your success criteria then please, year 5 and 6, and come back just so we can finish off our thinking for today. Okay everybody, so hopefully then on today's page you've got your question at the top with a question mark and today's date underlined with your red pen. Then some of you have made a journal entry about the time that we've got to create our outcome, but most of you will have gone straight on to writing your success criteria. Okay, now it might be a good idea to listen to the video now where I read this letter and point out some of the other useful things in it, or spend some time now reading the letter with a grown-up or a family member at home. Okay, I can't wait to see your journal page. Have a fantastic rest of the day and I will see you very soon.